Look at any wind farm on Earth and you'll notice something odd. Almost every turbine has exactly 3 blades. Not 2, not 4, not 7, always 3. Is that just design taste, or is there hidden physics forcing this number? And how do these giant machines survive lightning strikes, power thousands of homes with a single rotation? Let's find out. Here's the short answer. 3 blades exist because of 3 things: efficiency, balance, and cost. First, efficiency. A rule called Betz's law says no turbine can ever capture more than 59.3% of wind's energy. A 1 or 2 blade design spins too fast and lets most of that energy slip past uncaptured. 3 blades pull in nearly 99% of the maximum energy physically possible. A 4th or 5th blade would only add 0.5% more power for a lot more weight and cost. Not worth it. Second, balance. Picture a 2 blade turbine turning to face changing wind. At one moment, one blade points straight up into faster wind, while the other points straight down into slower wind near the ground. That mismatch creates a violent wobble that shakes the whole structure apart over time. 3 blades keep the weight balanced no matter how they're positioned, so the turbine spins smoothly instead of tearing itself apart. Third, cost. 3 blades hit the sweet spot: maximum power, structural stability, and the lowest price for materials. That's the whole secret. Now let's look at just how enormous and how strange these machines really are. A standard turbine stands about 100 meters tall at the hub, with blade tips reaching up to 180 meters in the air. Offshore versions go even higher, over 260 meters, taller than the towers of the Golden Gate Bridge. Each blade alone weighs between 15 and 25 tons, about the same as 4 elephants, spinning through the air at 200 miles per hour. The nacelle on top housing the generator weighs up to 300 tons, heavier than a Boeing 747 balanced on a single pole. And underground, engineers pour over 1,000 tons of concrete just to keep the whole thing from tipping over. So how does spinning steel turn into electricity in your home? Wind flows over each blade shaped like an airplane wing, creating lift that pulls the blades around, not just pushing them like a paddle wheel. That spins a shaft inside the nacelle at just 10 to 15 rotations per minute. A gearbox then multiplies that speed by 100, up to 1,500 RPM, fast enough to drive a generator and send power down into the grid. There are over 400,000 of these turbines worldwide today, producing nearly 3,000 terawatt-hours of electricity every year. One offshore turbine is so efficient, a single rotation of its blades can power a home for over 24 hours. This design didn't appear overnight. The earliest windmills date back to 9th century Persia, grinding grain with paddle-like sails. In 1888, Charles Brush built the first automatic wind turbine for electricity in Cleveland, Ohio, a 17-meter giant with 144 blades. It took Danish engineers decades later to prove that fewer, airplane-shaped blades captured far more energy. By 1957, the Gedser turbine in Denmark set the blueprint every modern turbine still follows today. Because turbines are essentially giant metal poles standing in open fields, they get struck by lightning constantly. To survive, each blade has copper receptor buttons that catch the strike and channel tens of thousands of amps safely down through internal cables into an underground grounding system. Turbines are also painted white on purpose, since dark colors would absorb heat and warp the fiberglass blades under the sun. In Norway, scientists found that painting just one blade black cuts bird collisions by 70% by breaking up the blur birds see when the blades spin. Setting up a single onshore turbine costs $3 to $5 million. Offshore units run even higher, $10 to $25 million each. But it pays for itself fast. A turbine earns back all the energy used to build it in just 6 to 9 months, and breaks even financially in 5 to 10 years out of a 20 to 25-year lifespan. That's over a decade of pure clean energy profit. So next time you see those 3 blades turning on the horizon, you'll know exactly why. A century of physics, trial and error, and engineering hidden in plain sight. Which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more interesting facts like this. Until then, stay curious.